If you're in the District of Columbia, Maryland, or Virginia, ask Dr. Joe, your real estate investing partner, because wealth matters.
I'm just sharing with you my experience, okay? Whether you believe it or not, it's up to you, but that's just typically what happens when the market turns on you. The dynamics change, and what worked before doesn't always work. And what crushes most people is that they take on too much debt. Okay, it's the debt that's what crushes them, because they can't support the debt. Okay, and most investors are not landlords. The thought of renting a house, especially in DC, is like you got to sprinkle holy water or something in the house. It's not. The thought of renting in DC is not part of the equation. Okay, but I'm okay with that. Okay, because I've been through it before, and in fact I love being a landlord. I think it's great being, especially for voucher holders. I mean, it's cool. Eric?
What's your opinion of the market right now?
I mean, I don't have a crystal ball, but I do know that market is pretty solid. But I think it's tapering. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I know that it's not going to go on like this forever. Okay, at some point it's going to correct itself. I don't know how long. It could be 6 months. It could be a month. It could be a year. It could be, but at some point it will turn. And you don't want to be, standing up when the music stops. You know what I mean? So that's where the plan B kicks in. So for this house, my plan B was to rent. Okay? And therefore, the question was, would the numbers support a rental strategy if my plan A doesn't work, or didn't work? You follow me? You had a question before I go on to...
Well, I was going to ask, you said you buy and hold.
Yes.
And I was going to ask you, what you said you buy, you assume that the market's going to turn.
Yes.
What would your plan B be if you bought a rental property?
Okay.
What would the plan B be?
The reason, okay, if I was renting this house, it'll be, I'll rehab it just like this. Okay. I know you think I'm crazy, but a lot of my houses are like this. Okay, they're rehab. The granite hardwood floors as rentals, okay? And that's because I don't want to be the guy.
Yes.
Forget you, there's a guy down the street who's got jacuzzi and so on. I've been there, done that, I'm not going there again. Okay? But if I'm renting this house, I want the person who walks through that door, oh my God, I'm in love. You know what I mean? It's like, I want them to fall in love with my house, okay, such that they're not looking anywhere else, okay, such that they want to make an application, because if they don't get this house, they'll never find a house like this again, okay? That's my experience from when the market turns, okay? So it doesn't matter when the market turns, I'll get people to apply here, because I can play toe-to-toe with all the competition. I'm going in with the assumption the market's going to turn on me, okay? I don't want to go in there with an iffy product, okay? Because if I have an iffy product, if the market is strong, I'll rent it, no problem. Okay? But if I've got an iffy product, the market turns, I may not be able to rent it. Well, I will rent it, but I may not get the creme de la creme tenant that I'm looking for. Because the creme de la creme, everybody wants that person. Okay? And they can choose.
So Joe, with your plan B for this,
okay,
so if the market turned,
okay,
then you'd refinance, pay off your investors.
Yes.
That would
keep going through all. So for this house, I don't know, has anyone done DC housing Section 8 program? You familiar with it? Okay. Okay, so for this house in this neighborhood, downstairs will be almost 20, let's just say, obviously, let's say $2,900. Okay, that's how much they will pay for a 2-bedroom in this neighborhood. Okay? Upstairs is 4 bedrooms. I will make a 5th bedroom in this house. Okay? If I make a 5th bedroom in this house, they will pay $5,400. Section 8. Okay? $5,400 plus $3,000 is $8,400. Okay? That's how much rent I can get for this house. That's my plan B. Okay? And $8,400 will support the debt on this house if I refinance it. Okay? So there's a plan A, which is to sell. And there's a plan B in the event I can't sell. Are you okay with that?
Do you do all your houses Section 8?
Most of them, yeah.
And Section 8 really works well in high-end neighborhoods because the rate scales are terrible in lower income neighborhoods.
In high rent, in high scale neighborhoods, the rents are very, very attractive.
Right.
So this is one of the high rent areas. So you get the top of the line. Not all areas you get that price. Okay, but this one does. So I've got quite a few rental Section 8. I love Section 8. You know, my longest tenant for Section 8 is 21 years. Okay, and think about this one. The longest tenant is 21 years on a 15-year mortgage. Think about that. Pretty heavy stuff.
But the interesting story you tell about going through the process of finding the ideal Section 8 tenant.
Right. I mean, this is not a rental. I'm going to be doing another one. I got a house up in Columbia Heights, which, what's it called? A couple of them. So I'll be doing another session up there. So I'll talk about the rentals, a bit more details, that one. But yeah, but let's just say that the key to Section 8, or no, the key to buy and hold, I'm sorry, not Section 8, buy and hold investing is to figure out, is to minimize turnover. Okay? Turnover is when they leave. Okay? When the person comes in, stays for a year and leaves. Okay? Once they leave, you gotta paint it again, you gotta clean it again, you gotta go through the whole ritual again, and then all the cash flow that you made all the previous months gets wiped out. Okay? Because you have no income coming through. Okay, so if you can't figure out how to minimize that, you're dead. Okay, it doesn't make any money. You don't make any money buying hold if you have a lot of turnover. You cannot, and it'll drive you out of this business. So you got to figure a way to minimize that. What's that?
Your plan B assumes that you'll refinance if the market turns around. But if the market turns around, aren't loans, mortgages, suddenly different rates are not able to be gotten for a while?
Well, when the market turns, yeah, credit tends to tighten up a little bit. The criteria tends to tighten up a little bit. But okay, so in this house, I'll address that in two ways. Okay, I'll talk about the plan A and I'll talk about the plan B. Plan A is to sell this house. Okay, the house was listed at 1.395 million. Which is short, 5,000 short of 1.4 million. Okay, so 1.395 was the list price. We had 4 offers on this house. The final offer that we accepted was 1.389 million, which is $6,000 below list. 6,000 and 1.4 million is nothing. So it's almost this price, okay? We officially on the MLS, it was on the market for 19 days, okay? But we were haggling back and forth for about a week of that, okay? So the final buyer put a $100,000 earnest money deposit, okay, on this house. And they get a loan where they put almost $500,000. It's crazy. You know, it's like $450,000. I mean, who has this kind of money? It's crazy.
What was the lowest offer you got of the 4?
The lowest offer we got was 1.31. It was a ridiculous offer. Well, ridiculous, from my perspective. We didn't take it seriously because one of the guys, they wanted to sell their current house before they took this house. You know what I mean? So, that wasn't on the table as well. So what's it called? We ended up with that one, yeah, that's where we are. The settlement is technically scheduled for November the 3rd. We'll see. What's it called? Let's see if I can answer your question, Steve, on that one. So the question that Steve had was when the market turns, okay, and I can't implement my plan A, okay, and the credit market tightens, okay, can I still implement my plan B? Is that right? Okay. So I'm in this house for $900,000. Okay. Let's just say $900,000. That's $550 for the acquisition, $350 for the rehab. Okay. 350, 5 is 8, 9. Yeah, it's about 9. Yeah, 9. And then you throw it. So let's say I'm in it for $1 million. Let's just say. Okay. We may add on the closing, what's it called? Holding costs, acquisition costs, taxes, and so on. Let's say I'm in it for $1 million. Okay? The house is worth right now about $1.4 million. Okay, plus or minus $5,000. Okay? And so there's $400,000 worth of equity in this house. Okay? What I'm saying, Steve, to answer your question, there's enough equity there to support a refi. Okay? Even if it's a soft market. Now, if I was in it for 1.1 or 1.2, then you get a little tight. Okay, but there's $400,000 plus or minus worth of equity in this house, which is pretty decent. Okay, will support a refi, and because the income potential is $8,500. Okay, again that will support the debt as well with cash flow. Follow it? So you can support both your plan A and plan B. If it's a good market, if it's a bad market, if the credit market is tight. I got pretty good credit. So I mean, if my FICO score is 300, then I may not be able to refinance. Okay, but as long as you got decent credit, and as long as the debt to income on the house supports that, and there's cash flow, then there's no guarantee you'll get financing. But there's a pretty good chance you will, especially if you develop relationships with financial institutions that you do business with. Does that answer your question, Steve? Yeah. Good. Okay.
And one last question: when and if the market shifts, and a lot of people have these luxury condos and they can't sell them, like you were saying, condos take the hardest hit. Then they turn them into these rentals. You mean as a renter? I mean, as a landlord, you've got to really make your place look stellar because you're competing with all these brand new condos.
Yeah, what I'm saying is that every landlord wants the same tenant.
Right.
Well, not everyone. Hopefully you do. Which is the tenant that pays on time, the tenant that keeps the place up, the one that doesn't give you a hassle. I mean, everyone wants that kind of person. Okay. Nobody wants the one that was just evicted last week, who trashed their house, and I'm assuming that's not what you are looking for. Okay. So people are looking for the creme de la creme, the upper tier tenant, okay? So when the market turns, as I'm saying, those people have choices. Right. And if you could choose 5 houses to rent, you're going to pick the best one that you can get. Yeah, I mean, it's common sense. Okay, so if you're not the best one on that list, then you may be stuck. You know what I mean?
Want to drive down the prices for all of them, though, too?
Yeah, I mean, rents no longer go. They tend to stagnate or go down. I think you see some of that now in condos. But I'm not competing in the condo market. Okay, my voucher holder. I'm on the premise. Here's my premise. Okay, if you've got a family of 3, 4, 5 children, okay, my premise is that at some point you want a house.
Yes.
Okay, the condo stuff, apartment stuff, it's not going to cut it. Okay, it's not the end game. Okay, the end game is a house. That's my premise. Okay, so I'm looking for 5, 10, 15-year tenants. Okay, and if your end game is a house, because that's where you want stability. That's where you want your kids to be raised and whatever. Okay, it's a house, not an apartment. Okay, if you got the house, then there's a better chance that you will be the end game. Okay, if you got an apartment, my premise is that you're not the end game. You're just like an intermediate until you find a house. So people will not be staying for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. they'll be there in 5 years, and then they'll move on to a house. Okay, because the kids they've outgrown the place. You see what I'm saying? That's my, and I strongly recommend that if you're going to go into this business, you try to reduce the cost of financing. Okay, and financial institutions it's cheaper money than say hard money. Okay, and so on. So that's part one. Part two is I have what we call private investors. These are people who, you know, I have what we call a joint venture program. There's a couple of flyers around here where I give people the opportunity to look over my shoulders as we do a deal. Okay, so in this scenario, we had some private investors and also some other folks who essentially saw the transformation of this house from this initial state all the way through to the end. Every 2 weeks we meet and we discuss, you know, the project, we discuss the design, we discuss the issues, the solutions. It's really a great program. It's, in fact, in my opinion, it's the best way to learn. Okay, it's much better than say reading a book or going to a boot camp or listening to some CDs. Because the best way to learn is really the best way to learn is to do, as opposed to just looking. You learn so much when you're doing something. You know, I'm sure Terrence can probably tell you. You know, you can read all the books you want, but until you do a project, it's you know, it's a whole other world.
Yes.
You know, and so on. So that's what we do. So I have some private investors. And typically I offer 8% return on their money for the duration of the project and so on. So, so the second part of the financing was private investors. Okay? The third part, and that's not the entire monies needed. Okay? The third part is my own personal funds. Okay? So whatever is left over that's needed to complete the project. So if I need 900,000, if the bank gives me 500, I may borrow 200 or 250 from private investors, and then I'll have to spring the difference. Okay? So, and that's based on the assumption that the rehab is going to be 200, and that's based on the assumption that we can get this project done in, I think we estimated 3 months, didn't we, I think? Or 4 months. Yeah. I was young and naive, I tell you. So I think we estimated, it's 4 months, I think we estimated. I was totally off. So as you know, when you do a rehab, for those people who've done a rehab, 3 things are guaranteed to happen in the rehab. Okay. One, it's guaranteed to cost you more money. I've never done a project where it's cost me less than I thought. Has anyone done a project where it went under budget? I've never had one. 2, I've never had a project where it was quicker than I thought it would be. It always takes longer. And the third thing, which, you know, I don't have those issues, but, you know, if you're just starting off or if you don't have that track record, the third issue is that you're going to have some challenges or problems with your contractor. Okay? Yeah, I don't have those issues because I've got the greatest contractors out here. I mean, Mr. Pedro is one of them. Mr. Pedro, raise your hand. What's it called? So, Mr. Pedro and his partner Nixon, they're the ones that do all my projects. And so we kind of, I've been using them for about 5 years now. They do all my projects. They're real good people, good guys. And I trust them completely when they do my projects. So, but if I hadn't met them, I've been through all those different scenarios with contractors. You know, the contractors where, you know, you got to wake them up from bed. You know, you know, they come to the job site drunk. You know, the guys who they don't have a car, so you got to take them to the Home Depot, and they can't get home, so you got to stay here all day until they finish. And yeah, I've been through all those scenarios, and it gets old real fast. And I'm sure we can all talk about contractors over a drink. But yeah, so that's how it was based on the assumption there's a $200,000 renovations. Okay, and as I said before, the renovations it comes to around $350,000. Okay, so we're $150,000 over budget. okay? And I'll talk about that, you know, a bit later on. But in scenarios like that, I don't go back to my investors and say, hey, oops, I made a mistake. I need another 150,000. You know, I have to fund that myself. Okay, so and there are plenty of projects out here whereby people start, they run out of money, and they can't finish. Okay, there's a project across the street. They've been doing that thing for at least a year and a half, and they haven't finished it yet. Okay, they stop for a while, like a couple of months break, and then they continue again. Then it stops, you know, and then a couple of months break again, and it continues. So they have some financial issues, I think, and that's what's preventing them from completing their project. So, so that essentially is how this project was financed. Okay, a mixture or a hybrid of financial institutions money through my line of credit, private investors, and also personal money. Everybody okay with that? Any questions? Cool? Okay, let's go to part 3, which is the transformation of this house. As I said before, this house was abandoned. I sent you the before photographs and videos, so hopefully you've had time to look at that. Because I know if I didn't show you that, you wouldn't believe me how this house was. You probably thought I bought it like this. I tried to rip you guys off, you know. Believe me, it was not like this. You know, so anyway, assuming that you've looked at the video, let me just kind of summarize where we are. So in this house, you've been to those DC houses where you come in, there's a little foyer. Okay, so in this case, there's a foyer. I'm falling around. There's a foyer here, okay? And there's a door here. Okay, so if someone's standing over here, they can't see me. Okay, so there's a door, we go in, and now we're in the sort of the main part of the house. There's a wall up to here, and there's an opening, and there's another wall over here. Okay, so far? So I now enter the living room. Okay, now I'm in the main area, but I still can't see you guys because there's another wall over here somewhere. Okay? Okay? If I want to go upstairs, I'll go like this, it'll be here, I'll go up the steps and turn around and go that way. You got me? So that's how we'll go upstairs. So all the stairs in the house were pointing this way. So from here to the second floor, and from the second floor to the third floor is going that way. Got me so far? So, where you guys are, what's the lady in the white?
Masire. Me? Masire.
Masire?
Masire.
Masire, okay. So Masire's in the dining room over there, okay? And she will not be able to see me if I stand here because there's a wall that separates the two over here, okay, so far? And yeah, what's your name, sir? Peter. Peter, okay, where Peter is, you see that that window behind you, Peter? That was where the bathroom was, okay? And Marcus, and that's where the kitchen was, okay? So it was a living room, dining room in the middle, where Peter was is where the bathroom was, and in the back was where the kitchen was, okay? And what else was there? Have I missed anything else, Peter?
That's just the first floor.
That's just the first floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of walls. This house, there was brick wall here, wasn't there? Was there brick wall here? You see those? You know, see those houses where they have the exposed brick? There was. I think there was it on that side?
What's this side?
Yeah. Where Pedro is, along that wall was exposed. Was the brick, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe.
There was a exposed brick over there. So one of the things that we had to decide was, do we keep the exposed brick or not? So that's the first floor. When you go upstairs, there was 1, 2, 3 bedrooms upstairs, and the main thing was that on the 3rd level, because the stairs is going this way, okay, if you're going to the 3rd level, you enter into the master suite. You follow me? And because the stairs is going this way, we did not have a roof deck, okay, so we thought that it wasn't part of the discussion of the roof deck. But either way, if you go to the 3rd floor, you go straight into the master suite. Okay, so there's no privacy for, no one can go up there because it's just totally for the what's it called, the person in the master suite. So what we wanted was, so there's several scenarios that we thought of. One was, first of all, do we keep this house is about 110 to 120 years old. It had a lot of dark panel wood, around the rims was all dark panel, just the old historical kind of thing. So we had a lot of that. So one of the questions was, do we keep the historical flavor of the house, which we could have done, okay, or do we not? Some of the houses around here, they have that historical dark panel wood, dark everywhere. And
can we take this recording to you? You were off on both.
No.
You need the number.
No, that's why I have this backup.
That's the one over there. Okay, so you in?
Yeah, I'm good.
No, because yours is gone.
Yeah. Okay. We tried to do Facebook
We need your
Live.
number.
We did Facebook Live today. My first one. So yeah. So we always got there to Facebook Live. The battery ran out. Okay. So any questions so far?
Where would we find you? Where would we find this on Facebook?
Where will you find us on Facebook?
Under Joseph Asamoah, he has a page. Okay. So if you go, the email that he sent out, at the bottom it says, leave Facebook or follow me on Facebook. And click the link, it'll be there.
Yeah, I'm not into Facebook. I'm gonna try and get into it. I'm old school email. Any other questions?
Can we view it? I didn't see it.
Oh yeah. So what we're doing, I've got some. Everyone should have a name tag. Okay, this is the 3rd part of the meeting now. What I would like for you, we've got some refreshments. My only request is that you interact with at least 3 people that you don't know. Okay? I don't want you kind of forming your little cliques where you know everybody. I want you to go out there, talk, introduce yourself to other people. I want this to be a networking opportunity, okay? Get to know people you don't know, and let's see if we can pour some business together. And I have some flyers about my JV program if you're interested. My wife's got some flyers about her staging if you're interested. There's some food here. I got some water, and you can stay until the food's gone. If you haven't been through the house, feel free to walk through the house. All I ask is that please don't touch the walls and be respectful of the home.
Thank you, Joe.
Okay?
Steve, did you learn anything today?
Yeah, it was fantastic. I learned about how he's been able to take houses and make them into extraordinary places that people love to live in. I understand the financing from it that he is doing. I've also learned, if you look at this place, how he's been staging it and how the staging company he uses does a wonderful job for a very reasonable price.
That's his wife.
And yes, I do know it's his wife, but he only married her because she stages well.
I think it was the opposite way around. I think he found out she could do this after he realized that she's a great value for other reasons.
Yeah, but you're recording this, and we want it the other way because he is. But no, seriously, Joe loves his joint venture people, and they provide him a really good insight into it, and it helps him, get different opinions, because sometimes when you're doing rehabs, you kind of get a blind spot and you keep going, and with the different opinions it really helps, and you can see it on how this is done. I can say the quality and finish is incredible. The way they found out a view of the Washington Monument, and when they put their roof deck in, and the quality on the roof deck was beautiful and wonderful. And I'm surprised that he didn't get much more than 20% more than he thought for the house originally. So somebody's got a really good deal here.
There?
All right,
Don't get
got
too
you.
close, then I look fat. Don't get too close.
No, you don't look fat. I got you. I'm zooming in real tight now, okay? So did you have a good time today?
Yes, I had a great time. It was very informative, and if there's one thing that I took away from this meeting is that you always have to have a plan B. So just in case you can't sell the property, you need to make sure that you have another exit strategy, like possibly renting it out. So if you go in with the idea that, you know, the market's about to turn down, that downturn is coming, then, you know, as long as you have both of those plans where the potential of selling it and as well as possibly having to rent it, then, you know, if it works, it works. And so yeah, if there's anything I took away from this, it's that.
Okay.
So,
well,
yeah.
you're about to implement that in your own way, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, yeah, I didn't think about that before, about always assuming that the market's about to turn on you. But yep, going forward, I will be taking that into account and making sure that my properties work for both buying and holding, as well as buying and selling. So, yep.
Good. So a lot of people mentioned that. Other people have mentioned that. But that's
that was like the biggest thing that I took from this was that. So.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you're here. Your name is Jackie.
Yep.
Jackie
Forte. Yep.
And your forte to now will be having a plan B, right?
Exactly.
All right. I hope to see you again soon, Jackie.
All right. Hope to see you guys soon too.
Okay. Yeah. I've seen you before at these events. Yeah. So,
okay.
So yes, of course you had a good time. You did. You're looking good, by the way. I just want to compliment you on the jacket. We have some very well-dressed people here today.
Definitely.
And you're one of those people. That means you're ready to go, right?
Yes.
You're going to apply your wisdom to your own enterprise.
Oh, definitely. And I have for the last few years. I've been following Dr. Joe for like the last 2 years, actually. And by far, this is the best, you know, presentation that he's done.
Oh, you mean the house?
Yeah.
This is your favorite house so far.
It's
This is what you told me.
my favorite house so far. The renovations, the design, the deck, everything, and the information is just, once again, is invaluable. It's just, you can't put a price on it. So I'm definitely excited again to be here for like the 4th time. This is like my 4th or 5th project that I've seen Dr. Joe do, and it's pretty cool to see the before and after, the emails as he was progressing. I seen the videos, and this house was a nightmare.
It's getting up there.
Yeah, but to see the final.
Oh yeah, the condition of the house,
was
initially
interesting, but now to see the final product, it kind of gives you an idea, and makes you more prepared when you want to do your own project. And Dr. Joe, once again, he's a great resource. He will provide you with his contractors and just assist you, and that's like not a lot of investors are doing it. They don't have the time, so.
Yeah, this is almost as much of an endorsement of his contractors as it is of his capabilities, and they almost make you want to just say, look, whatever your team is, let's follow it with your team. That way we can get guaranteed results.
Yes, and people who have actually come to these events have actually used his contractor, and so people are benefiting from his network as well, even financiers as well, so it's a great thing.
Okay, you've got projects in mind?
New construction, yeah.
And what is this your year? Or are we getting into the first quarter next year?
First quarter of next year. I'm working with a few people. I'm going to bring the deal to the table, no money down, and just get like 10, 15, 20% of whatever the final, what am I looking for?
Well, the final negotiation.
Well, whatever the end price, sell price of the property is. So it's pretty exciting. Get a little bit of cash up and create relationships and just continue, building cash, and hopefully one day I can do $1 million property as well and make some big bucks.
Another bird is about to fly out of the nest, right?
Yeah, it's progress. In real estate, everything's about progress, but it's very progressive. You don't want to jump into something quick and kind of like lose it all. So another thing I learned from Dr. Joe is precaution. Be very precautionate, be careful, and just make calculated risks and be strategic.
And ask people's opinions, because sometimes it takes more than 2 heads to figure it out, right?
Yes, and make sure you work with people that you trust as well. So you don't want to invest your entire life savings sometimes into something and lose out. So always having a plan A and plan B is another thing that I kind of like listen to, because usually I just want to flip it, sell it. But sometimes you can, something can happen with the economy, and if it turns, you can just cash flow the baby.
So that's a big part of it. I appreciate your input about this.
No, thank you.
But we're going to watch you and see what actually happens for the next several months, because you're going to come back to us in a certain period of time and share with us your experiences.
Definitely.
Hopefully they're going to be of the success that you're expecting.
I'm seeing success now, and things are progressively working in my favor. And coming here and be like, oh, okay, a few months ago I was here, and I'm doing better now, and closing, a little, wholesaling a little more, closing a lot of retail deals. Mm-hmm. So the cash is there. Working on the credit piece, so it's just like, once again, it's progressive, mm-hmm. and just being hardworking and just seeing the end results, and not just being delusional, like, oh, this is easy. If Joe did it, I can't. Mm-hmm. That's 30 years of experience compared to my 3.5. So, hey, improve and progress.
Follow closely behind Joe wherever he goes.
Oh, I do. I do. Trust me, I've been getting his emails, and this house, yeah, I've seen the videos. So, but once again, it's information that I don't see a lot of people sharing it with you. A lot. At least coming to the home and seeing before and telling you the acquisition price, and I mean, that's like, you used to start charging, Joe. I'll pay.
You can leave a check in.
Well, that's it.
Yeah, I was going to say. I was going to say, that's not outside the realm of potential.
I'll leave a rate check.
He stepped into that willingly.
I won't pay, but I know other people will. But I'll leave a rate check today.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing.
Paying for it, sure.
We appreciate your generosity. Yeah. All right. Thank you for your appreciation.
No worries.
That means a lot.
It's not money, but
it's a start. It's a start.
Very soon.
Well, if this show becomes syndicated, then later on we'll.
I'm gonna have to sign some release forms.
Nice to meet you. I hope you learned something. Did you enjoy yourself today?
Oh yes, Joe was awesome. One of the things I learned as an investor is that you must have more than one exit strategy. I know on this particular house he's planning on selling it, so he repaired or fixed it, and they're going to flip it. But he also said he prepared himself so that in the event the market turns, he is able to rent it. And I think that those are excellent concepts to incorporate in our business.
Got to have a backup plan, right?
Must have a backup plan.
So you're ready and you're going to make some decisions?
Yes.
Okay, so what do you think how you're going to use what you've learned today?
I am going to enforce that as well. We are planning, we're fixing and flipping, or rehabbing and flipping, and we're going to implement the rental in the event the market turns. So we're going to position ourselves to be ready to rent it in the event the market turns.
There you go. And what is your name, Miss
Nadine Simmons.
And you're an investor.
Yes, I am.
Welcome and congratulations.
Thank you.
I hope to see you again soon, okay?
Will do.
All right. Bye-bye. So tell us, did you learn anything new today?
It was interesting, all the aspects from the start and finding a project, and then also his financing, how he goes about that, and then a little more hands-off on the remodeling. He's leaving that to the general contractor. And interfacing though weekly with him is interesting. And then his exit strategy A and B. This is not my end of the world. I can do the contract. So that was very interesting.
But it's nice to know if for your own personal interest that you can possibly do this too.
Yeah.
It's good to know.
I've basically done it for my own custom house I built.
Oh.
From scratch to finish.
I'd like to see that. That's probably a portfolio piece, isn't it?
Yeah, we have, that one is actually sold after 20 years, and then I've done other projects since then.
Oh, wow.
We try to stay in remodeling, this would be a large job for us, well, 300,000 we've done an apartment for 350,000 on Connecticut Avenue. So that's not an outrageous amount. I guessed this project would be 6 months and 400,000 when I looked at the house. So, you can, if you've been in the business long enough, you can come up with some approximate
a general idea of what it is. I haven't seen the deck yet. I want to see upstairs.
That's nice. He's done a lot of nice touches. Really, and I'm surprised, sold right 16 days. That's what you want.
That's true.
My last house was was 7 days. It was a stock house, but I really jazzed it up. Got it great. Person came in. This is wonderful, wonderful. Sold.
And we've got the money, and we're ready to go.
And 6 days later, you know, the contract takes a while just to get the contract. So I imagine with this house, the people saw it. They started the contract process right away. 6 days or 16 days. That's what it'll take.
Sounds like a nice. Likewise. Thanks for your time.
You take it
Appreciate
easy.
it. Okay.